Most small churches assume they can't compete with mega churches when it comes to digital marketing. But just like young David, a little bit of know-how can put you ahead of the Goliaths in your area. My name is Chris Jackson. Many people know me as the SEO Priest. I help churches with all sizes with digital marketing, especially search engine optimization. But my heart is for small churches because I pastor two of them myself. In this video, I'm interviewing Pastor Danny Hyde from Oceanside United Reformed Church in the San Diego area. Pastor Hyde ran a Christmas Eve marketing campaign that perfectly demonstrates what I call the 4 pillars of an effective church marketing campaign. After the interview, I'll break those 4 pillars down so you can apply them in your own context. No mega church budget required. Good morning. This is Chris Jackson, aka the SEO Priest. If you're listening to this on Spotify, I guess I started a podcast. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
This might be my very first podcast episode. I'm not sure. So anyways, welcome. So I've got Reverend Dr. Daniel Hyde from Oceanside, California, the United Reformed Church pastor. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. Yep. Just call me Danny.
Danny? Okay. All right. Yeah. Can call me Chris. Yeah. So I don't know much about the United Reformed other than just quick, like chatting with you on X a little bit, but it seems like the conservative / evangelical sort of break off of the old Dutch Reformed. Do I kind of have that right? Or
Yeah, something like that. I'm sure just like Lutheranism, at a certain point, there becomes all these offshoots and it gets confusing. But in general, the URCNA like officially started in 1995 and came out of the Christian Reformed Church. And the I guess a lot of denominations, like the last straw that broke the camel's back was the ordination of women to the ministry. But of course, for generations, it had been struggle, and the issues is always like the authority of Scripture. Yeah, and the Christian Reformed Church started in the 1840s, 50s in the States. Immigrants from the Netherlands.
This be like the group like around Holland, Michigan, and all that.
Yeah, so their original like settlements were like Holland, Michigan, and then a little farther south, Pella, Iowa.
Okay,
those are the two kind of like hubs. But in people who know like anything about like even pre-colonial American history, New World history, like the Dutch came here, Henry Hudson, the East India Company, they thought this was the passage to India, and then of course they ended up in like on the Hudson River in upstate New York. So like the Dutch Reformed Church, or what they called themselves back in the day, like the true Reformed Dutch Church, was like controlled by the classis of Amsterdam in the Netherlands, because that's where all the trade came from.
Okay.
So like the Dutch Reformed were here for a long time before the waves of immigration came in the 19th century. But when they did come, those were more conservative, like very conservative in the Netherlands. They'd just come out of like the Napoleonic era and got their freedom back. And when they came to the Reformed Church in America, today the RCA, they just basically felt like it was like a liberal, like revivalistic church, which it was, especially like in the Northeast. A lot of those Presbyterians, Dutch Reformed. I'm sure if we look under the hood, you might find Lutherans that got Methodists, whatever. They all got
that was a big thing, kind of
revivalism, right?
Especially,
First Great Awakening, Second Great Awakening. Our churches are dead, and we gotta give same old song and dance like we hear today. So when those immigrants came, they're like, hey, we want just the word and the sacraments, and that's what we do, and we don't need all this other stuff. They petitioned and whatever, but nothing worked, and so they just became a separate Dutch Reformed Church. And then as more immigrants came, like later, like those people were from a particular strand in the Netherlands that broke out of the state church in the early 1800s, and then like the big figure eventually became a guy named Abraham Kuyper. He was a prime minister at one point. He was a minister, started the Free University, like I got my sweatshirt on, the Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam. That's where I got my PhD. And then Herman Bavinck is like our main sort of like systematic theology guy. Anyways, so we would consider ourselves like Dutch Reformed, historical, traditional Dutch Reformed. When we go on vacation, like, there's not a lot of our churches, so we typically do worship in LCMS churches. I typically find that better.
Honestly, hearing the history there, it tracks almost, it's like literally the LCMS. Yep. It's like literally the reformed version of the LCMS. I mean, that is like pretty much the parallel stream there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they're somewhat like breadth and diversity of practice in our churches. Like I would say it's on the whole very conservative, but sure, there's always like some breadth of practice. It's like when we go on vacation, if there's no URCNA or something that's close, like we typically worship at LCMSs. And like we always go to the traditional, if they have more than one service, we always go to the traditional service, the early one, with all the older people, and our kids are there, and they're like, "Oh, we think you came to the wrong service. The family service is the more contemporary ones later, and no, we want to be at this one."
Yeah.
Like our kids know the Lutheran liturgy now. Like we've gone enough times.
All
like,
right.
we like that. Like we want that. Like for our kids, hey, word, sacraments, liturgy, hymns. We don't want any fluff.
Interestingly, I met a Presbyterian pastor in Green Bay recently, and his whole thing, a PCA, so Nate Park.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And his whole thing was, I was amazed at the name of the church. I was like, it was All Saints Presbyterian Church. I was like, I literally never heard a Presbyterian church called All Saints Lutheran Church. And it was like, oh no, like we're trying to like be more historically grounded and so on and so forth. So anyways, that was real interesting. We have some Dutch-ish background folks in my area. We have the largest settlement of Belgians.
Oh, wow.
Outside of Belgium. Right
Oh,
here
really?
in the county. Yeah. We have Brussels, Wisconsin right here.
Oh, wow.
And so what's interesting about them, so you do have, some that have a little bit more of a Dutch background. You can tell and how they look and the last names. And then you got others that are a little bit more French background.
Yep.
Most of them still, even like the ones that are a little more Dutch background, are Roman Catholic, but weirdly no like a Dutch Reform. But there is like a little bit of, there is a tiny Belgian background Presbyterian church.
Oh, wow.
And I think like it has like roots back in Belgium, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how that whole strain worked out, but that's like the only kind of Reformed presence under that Dutch sort of background people.
Yep.
Yeah. But then there's also a whole, like, I could go on about this. There was a big old Catholic movement here that actually came out of that Presbyterian group. Crazy stuff. We'll talk about that some other time. Let's talk about church marketing here. You kind of showed up, slid into my DMs recently, most interested about press releases. And how'd you find my stuff? And
I think I at some point, like your feed popped up and probably had some mutual friends following it. So I was like, oh, this looks cool. I think I followed. And when we were getting ready for the like Christmas Eve service, which we do every year, we do like a lessons and carols service. And so I saw that post, you had a little thread about, oh, this is free and it helps boost your site, your traffic and your visibility. So I pulled it up, I printed it out. And we have some awesome volunteers that do a lot of stuff for us. And I said, hey, check this thread out on X and let me know what your thoughts are. And other guys are like, yeah, this it's like old school, but it looks like it's going to work. So our website was like refreshed very recently. And so it was like, okay, we got to have a page for our Christmas Eve. And then I saw your thing about having a page.
Quick pause. If this content is helpful, my best material goes out through my newsletter. You can sign up at churchseo.io/newsletter. All right, back to the interview.
So I basically printed it out, followed it to a T as best I could with a little bit of help. And it was great. I think I told you it was like our service was packed. Like it was crazy.
Awesome. Yeah.
Like we have a congregation of, I think, around 100 people, like members and like very regular attenders, maybe 90 to 100. Like we do in every year, we don't know who's going to show up. Like some people are gone that year on vacation or families, whatever.
You have a lot of transplants there, I take it.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, it's most of Southern California, like on the coastal like strip where we're at, and we're in North San Diego. Yeah, it's in general, it's a pretty transient area. I'm from, like when people ask me like, where are you from? I just say I'm from Southern California. Because I've lived in so many different like towns and cities in SoCal. I was born in Long Beach, if anyone knows where that's at. And then I've lived around, so I just say SoCal. But very transient. And we have Camp Pendleton, which is the largest Marine base in the country, like next door to us.
Hey, by the way, let me just jump in there. This is one reason why I'm excited about what you're up to. Yeah, I've got, actually, when I went into seminary, my goal was to become an Army chaplain.
Oh, okay.
I ended up not becoming a full chaplain for a variety of reasons, but what did have a commission, I went through the Army Chaplain Candidate program.
Oh, cool.
So I went to I completed Army Chaplain School. I even got to go to Airborne School and did some other trainings and so on. But, what the Secretary of War, Hegseth, right? Secretary of War Hegseth recently had that post about making the chaplain corps great again. And the biggest obstacle to the spiritual power of the chaplain corps is it's not like your mainline liberal chaplains. It's not even like your stray Islamic chaplain or whatever that you get. Or whatever, or your Norse pagan chaplain or whatever it is. Your biggest problem are quote unquote conservative, non-denom evangelical chaplains. They're the worst. So I'm going to offend a lot of people with this, but like when I was at chaplain school, we had chapel every single day. The vast majority of these were these non-denom, quote unquote conservative evangelical chaplains and chaplain candidates giving the chapel talks and all this kind of stuff. So I probably heard 60 sermons, sat through 60 services. I heard the name of Jesus 5 times. The only time the gospel of Jesus Christ, the forgiveness of sins, the blood of Christ, only twice. And that was actually each from a Lutheran. And then the other 3 times, I can't remember what, just some whatever about Jesus. Then the other time was Jesus always has an ace up his sleeve. I was like, oh, all right. Not sure if this. And then Jesus is I'm not even going to say what this other chaplain said about Jesus because it's actually, he didn't understand what he was saying. He thought he was being relevant. So in any case, and it's still the same. So I've got a son at West Point here. So
cool.
pretty proud about that. And the Christian environment at West Point is awesome from the perspective of the students and the professors. Like it's amazing, probably better than the vast majority of Christian colleges. But the chaplains, it's still the same. You can still go to a chapel service, and literally like the most recent one we went to, the only time Jesus was talked about and the forgiveness of sins was, they've got the biggest church organ in the world there. So they feel like they still have to use it. And so the first and the last song is like on the organ, and the rest is your little beatbox thing and whatever. And those are the only things that they had the gospel in them. So because of the church organ, basically.
Exactly.
So anyways, I'm super glad for Christ-centered, gospel-rich churches to be serving the military.
That's
one reason why I'm excited about what you're up to.
Yeah, in our 25-year history, we've had just a ton of Marines, like from guys right out of boot camp who get stationed all the way up to officers. So right now we have 2 naval chaplains in our congregation. One of them is in the Orthodox Presbyterian Church, but the other one is a Baptist, and they found our church. They were stationed down in San Diego and started attending an Orthodox Presbyterian church because one of the sailors was OPC, this denomination OPC, and invited them to church, and they liked it. It was traditional. And then when they moved up to Oceanside, Camp Pendleton, they found us because they just like Googled Reformed Church, and like we're the only one around. And so we have 2 chaplains and like any number of members, regular attenders from the service, various like typically Marines, but sometimes we'll get some naval personnel besides chaplains. But yeah, it's great. And like we actually on Christmas Eve we had like a bunch of like new Marines and their wives and families worship with us because of what we did, right? So the press release thing was like so effective. And I told a bunch of my friends, I was like, dude, it's great. Because like you said in that newsletter, the greatest thing about it is like you're doing the work for them. So basically all they have to do is cut and paste. So all these sites around us and like even the biggest newspapers were putting it. And I was like, wow. So I sent them a little note to say thank you. And they're like, oh yeah, you made it so easy for us. You sent us all the information, like the pictures I sent, everything was there. Like a few of them were edited down a little bit, of course, but for the most part, it was basically what I sent them. So a lot of the Marines said, oh yeah, we found you because like we also use that press release for a local website we have here. That one we paid for is we paid $120, but we got like 190,000 impressions. But that one's targeted to zip codes. So like, in one of the places we targeted was Camp Pendleton. And so, yeah, we did that. And they're like, yeah, we saw the little news like release that you put, and it got posted on that local little website. And they saw it in a few other places as well on base because we had targeted them, and we sent out some press releases. Yeah, it was great. And a few of them were like, yeah, we're so tired. Like, they're evangelicals. Like, yeah, we just want like we want a non-mega church.
Yeah.
Like, we're looking for a non-mega church. And yeah, and I've been there. Like, I was an evangelical. I know what that's like. You're in that world. You don't know that there's anything outside. Like, when I was a new believer, I always thought there was the Roman Catholic Church, and there was like a bunch of like liberals in the middle, and then there was like the alive churches, like the big churches, the evangelical churches. But then when I came to realize later and learn through like Michael Horton, Rod Rosenblatt, back in the day on the White Horse Inn, oh no, there's like still confessional, like old school Protestants. That's when I started realizing, wow, the church world is it's way bigger and better than I ever thought. And so people in that situation, they're like, yeah, we just want a non-mega church. And they come to a service that's all it is Bible readings and Christmas carols that are just the gospel. And they're just blown away by it, right? They've never seen or experienced anything like it. They're used to having like maybe a candlelight service, like at some mega church, where they might sing like a couple of Christmas carols. But again, like most of it is, we're going to, like a long, like evangelical message, maybe have some movie clips on the screen or whatever. And they might have some touchy feely stuff here and there, but they've never been in a more liturgical service that's very intentional, like guiding you from Genesis to Jesus. Anyways, no, it was great. And yeah,
That's
I mean,
awesome. And I hear you like doubled your attendance more or less.
Yeah, I didn't count. Nobody really counted, but like we have some photos, and I mean, we like the first people that, like, I was the first guy to show up at the building because I had a bunch of stuff to bring in, and I was there super early, and the pianist was going to come early, and there was like a car that pulled up, and it was these two guys who live all the way down in San Diego, but they found us because I put a press release out in this. There's like a newspaper that comes out. So it's like a magazine. It's called the San Diego Reader. They have a website, but they also have physical, like very like thick, like every week, like an old school, like a regional magazine. And they read that, and that press release was right in there. And they're like, oh yeah, we found about you in the San Diego Reader. And they were the first ones there. And I was like, wow, we got like right from the get-go, two people who are new. And they came just for that service because they saw the press release like in a newspaper or a magazine. And then we're setting up, picking up, getting things ready, putting things out. And it's another guy comes in that same way. And then some Marines come in, they found us like on this other thing. But it was all like press release, website. We do Facebook, like we did a big Facebook campaign. Yeah, and it was like more and more people are coming. And afterwards, all the people in our church were members, because we've been praying like, hey, we're going to intentionally pray that all these invitations that we're giving out and putting out there are going to bear fruit. And so we printed out like just 100 little like square postcards, invites. We have a harbor in Oceanside, so there's a boat parade, like a light parade. And that was 2 weeks before Christmas. So we just set up like along the harbor where there's 1 billion people, and we put a table up with our church name on it. We have a little sign, all that stuff. We put up free hot chocolate. We had some Bibles sitting out, and we had a QR code for all the Christmas carols because we were going to sing Christmas carols. Mm-hmm. So like we only printed out 100 invites. That was like our only physical thing we did this year. And I think we gave away 80 of them at that event. And then the other 20, a few of us took them and passed them out. But then we did Facebook. That was a pay for, but then everything else was just websites. Like, and that was the biggest, like, we had like a massive spike in our like church traffic on our website and our church Facebook as well. But yeah, those are like, it was a huge turnout and people were blown away. And I was like we prayed, number one, and number two, we're actually intentional about reaching people to come to this service.
Yeah.
Because people come to Christmas Eve and they go to Easter.
Yeah.
And I'm always telling my friends who are Presbyterians who are like anti-Christmas and regular principle and, oh, it's not ordained by God. And I was like, look, the good thing about being Dutch Reformed is, we're very zealous for worshiping God as he commands. and we want to uphold like that Reformed distinctive. But at the same time, we also believe these are times where we should be preaching the gospel, and it's a captive audience. Like, why would I not? Like, why would I continue my series, my verse by verse exposition of Obadiah on December 21st? I think I'm preaching to Romans right now, and I paused Romans for December 21st and preached on the incarnation, and then we have Christmas Eve. And so why would I not do that when people are coming, and even if they're coming out of custom and just touchy-feely Christmas Eve-ness, I want them to hear the gospel, and I want them to hear the Bible read, and all the hymns are gospel, and I want them to know that God loves them and Christ died for them, and they need to come and put their trust in him, right? And live a life to serve God. Why would I not do that? I tell people in our very like traditional Reformed world who are a little bit got the heebie-jeebies about church calendar stuff. It's just a way to preach the gospel. And if people are already going to be like interested in church, why would you not put on a service that's specifically targeted to people that are not, I'm assuming these are not believers. They come for whatever reason. And they come and they're there. I'm going to give them the gospel.
Yeah.
Why would I not do that? Yeah. So I think it was like about double the normal attendance. So it was great. And people are just blown away by it. And so now it's okay. How do we keep boosting up our website? How do we keep tweaking things so that we can get ready for our next big, we don't do like big events. We just do like normal stuff, but it's Word and Sacrament every Sunday. But yeah, Easter and Christmas Eve are going to be like the two big times a year, right? Again, it's just people come to church. It's cultural, whatever, but they come to church.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that real quick? Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit about that. I'm going to actually share my screen here because I've got a little bit that I want to go over with you on that. Just some thoughts on that. First of all, do you have an Easter page up already?
No, we don't. No, that's like next on the agenda. Like now that the Christmas Eve was like a test case, now we know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first thing for sure is to go ahead and get your Christmas page up already. Yep. Okay. Now, one thing, or not your Christmas, your Easter page up. Yep. Okay. Your Google, the longer Google can crawl your page, the more it understands it and the more it'll trust it and promote it for you. Okay. Yeah. So yes, as early as you can, get that up. Now, this actually leads to something else that you probably don't want to do that you had asked me about. That I said we talk about here is don't pull down your Christmas Eve. Quick pause. If this content is helpful, my best material goes out through my newsletter. You can sign up at churchseo.io/newsletter. All right, back to the interview.
Yep. Yeah, keep it up.
Keep it up. Keep it up 365 days a year. Google rewards stable URLs. Okay. And it's going to like that. So keep that up. And this can also be your basis to help get a powerful Easter page going.
Yep.
Okay. Let me show you a little bit about why. So I pulled up, this is not all of the links that you have.
Yep.
So I pulled up a backlink report from a service called Ahrefs. I would highly recommend you go and get an Ahrefs account and get your church website in there, okay? Because you actually have some other work that you can do to help your SEO situation with this. So you actually have one of the strongest domain ratings I have seen for a church. So domain rating is a measure of the power of a domain, okay? And the most important thing, there's sort of two things that go into that. One is length of time that the domain has been alive. Okay. One thing. And then also the most important thing is links from other websites. So it looks like you had in previous years been active with blogging on your domain in the past. Am I right on that?
Yeah, I think like way back in the day, like we had a blog page, and we do now. We did in the back in the day. But when we refreshed our new one, we did put a page up for blog. So that's one of the things that we're going to try to.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go back to that here in a second, but that's driving a lot.
Oh, cool.
Of your domain power there because websites have linked to those articles you had way back in the day. We're going to go back to that here in a minute, but I do want to show you one thing. You you have links showing up to your Christmas Eve page.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those links to that page gives that the terminology that we use in SEO. SEO is very bro coded. So
Yeah.
we call it juice. It's SEO juice. Okay. So you've got good SEO juice, not only to your site, but also to that page.
That one page.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm sure this is not the only link that it picked up. I'm sure it's just this really selective report that it gave me here.
That's cool. Okay.
So anyways, you've got links showing up to that. When you get your Easter page, I'd probably do this way down low somewhere, find some sort of text like, or maybe you add even just in some of this SEO text that I told you to put on there.
Yep.
Just a sentence about Easter somewhere in here. Okay.
Yep. Oh, and link that.
Link it over
Yeah.
on. Make sure you've got the term Easter in there.
Yeah. Got it.
Do a link from this page to your Easter page. That's going to juice up that Easter page for you. Okay. Then as well, I would also link back to your Christmas page
On the Easter.
On the Easter, it creates a nice little hub of content there that is going to be mutually reinforcing there.
Okay.
Okay. So leave this up. Now you pulled off a lot of this one. You can take or leave. You think you pulled off your Christmas stuff off your homepage, which is fine. Man, you've got such amazing style, by the way. That's amazing. I wish I'm just like slumming it in my tab collars and stuff like this.
Our church is right on the beach, so it's like, how can you not?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, I'm with all these dowdy Wisconsinites. Anyways, yeah, what I have seen some churches do to help keep your Christmas page juiced up and getting frequent crawls and stuff like this, down in the footer, they'll actually put just a link. They'll just put the word Christmas.
Oh, really?
Okay. They'll put a link over to their Christmas page. You could do the same for your Easter page if you want.
So that no matter what page you're on, it's always on. It's always there.
It's always there.
Yeah.
So like a footer link is actually one of the most powerful links you can have because it's literally on every page. So literally it's creating this huge network of SEO juice getting funneled into whatever page is in your footer. Okay. So that can help keep that SEO juice. That is telling Google we consider this a really important URL. So you pay attention to this and you love this because we love this. Basically,
like on your website, you have a link to Christmas Eve on the footer or no?
I don't yet.
Okay.
But I may.
Okay.
I may go ahead and do that. Yeah.
You just pop it on there somewhere in the little corner.
Right. Somewhere down in the footer. So yeah, take that or leave that, but that will certainly help those two pages. Let's talk a little, since we're on the website, let's talk a little bit more about the website. All right. I'm going to go back to since we were talking about this, I'm going to go back to your links. Like I said, you've got a lot of links, but most of these links end up on 404 pages, basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And those URLs basically don't exist well, actually, one nice thing that Squarespace has done for you is that like the URL still exists and it has a link over to your homepage.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that is good because that's at least
get you back. Yeah.
It's continuing to funnel SEO juice to your site, but this still doesn't look amazing to Google. What I might do is like anything that has a link on it, I might try to just recreate that URL one way or the other and have some content about the general sort of thing, whatever that was about. It doesn't have to be amazing. It can literally be Chat GPT schlock that you put on there that's on the same subject. And then again, because these have links and some of these are powerful links. Let's see here.
Like Puritan board is like a massive,
like the head, heart, hand. Okay. Has a DR 46. That's powerful. Okay. And so that means that this page, which doesn't exist anymore, has an awful lot of SEO power. All right. But what you can do if you recreate something that is roughly about that. Okay. Like Psalms. So Google understands now, okay, this is a legitimate link again. and then start funneling that juice to other places. Okay. Funnel that juice to your homepage. Actually, every good page should have a contextual homepage link back to your homepage, and ideally on some sort of text that is for whatever your like primary locale you're trying to target. So like your primary locale you're trying to target is Oceanside, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like on your Christmas page, let's go back to your Christmas page. I probably something that can help your homepage pop, like down here, like if you can, like here on Oceanside.
Yep.
Put a link to your homepage.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Literally just the way, just
Yeah.
the URL to your homepage. Okay.
Got it.
Do that on whatever these pages are that have links
Okay.
on the term Oceanside. That's going to help you pop for like queries like Oceanside churches. All right. And actually, probably what I would do is like even put it on the term Oceanside churches.
Yeah.
Okay. Because lawyer SEO and legal SEO and church SEO is about as close as you get to each other, interestingly enough. Very similar. And so lawyers optimize for the plural all the time.
Okay.
Because most searches for lawyers are in the plural, like lawyers near me, right?
Yep.
Most
Churches,
searches for churches are in the plural, churches near me or churches in Oceanside. If you can put in on the text Oceanside churches, and then as well, whatever other pages you really want to promote. So like on these old blog post articles or whatever they are, include a link to your Christmas page, include a link to your Easter page. It's going to juice those up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Ideally
Nice.
on the term Christmas or the term Easter. Okay. Let's see here. Let's keep talking about.
What was that? Go back to that page again.
Yeah.
That Arefs page. See the one on the bottom, Dutch Reformed Church. Where's that one at? I just saw it on the left side. There it is. It has a 71 score. Grokkapedia. Check that out real quick.
Oh, well, isn't that interesting?
Is that that's the new one, right?
X. Yeah, you got
does it mention our church?
Let's see here. It goes to an old something on polity here.
Oh, got you. Okay, yeah. No, that's a new, that's on our new website, that polity page.
Awesome.
But that's crazy. Like the Grokkapedia just started and it's already like one of the highest ones, yeah?
Yeah.
And it already linked to our church.
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I would, so that page is juiced up. Like, start funneling that juice to discovery pages, because nobody's really going to discover you off of polity. They will discover you off of your homepage, which is ideally optimized for your town. Yep. And then as well, I would probably even try to, if it makes sense, funnel stuff to your Christmas and your Easter page.
Yeah.
Okay.
Elon Musk, man, doing his work for us, huh? How do I get a donation to buy a building?
Elon, if you're listening, help us out, man.
You only have $1 trillion, bro. Can you just sell 1 gallon of like rocket fuel and I can buy a building?
Yeah. Let's take a look at your homepage here. I just have a few things I'd like to kind of go over with you. So ideally your homepage, you have a lot of good stuff here. So you're optimizing for your main locale. So you've got the word Oceanside. So your meta title is free to be abused, but so don't follow any kind of character limits or whatever. But like even including the word churches. So for my church, I've got Door County Church is like the first thing here. Then I've got my name, and then I've got like Door County Church is. Optimizing for the plural. That can help. Your meta description, I actually would follow the character count. You're over. Okay. You got 150. So I would definitely include the word church, include the word Oceanside. Yeah. A lot of other towns mentioned here. I would actually hold off on that because there's a trick I want to show you here in a minute that maybe you'll like to do. Okay. But again, optimize. So this is what like that paragraph description Google gives that pulls it in sometimes for that. You want to optimize that for click through, like that invites someone to click through. So just something that you're not describing your church. You're trying to invite someone to click on that result in Google and get into your homepage. Okay. So you have look, you have one H1 header, so that's good. You should only have one H1 header, and it's this announcing good news for a fallen world. Ideally, this ought to be like, you ought to have the word church and Oceanside in there. I would literally just put Oceanside United Reformed Church, and then I would have an H2 under that, or maybe paragraph or whatever, then have the announcing good news for a fallen world, like as an H2 or something like that.
Okay.
Okay. Your H1 basically tells Google, like, on the on-page content, this is what all this content is all about.
Okay.
All right. I would have more H2s talking about being a church in Oceanside. So I'm just going to kind of give you an example of like my homepage here. So like you can see here, I've got my H1 is a church serving Door County, and it's this right here. I might could change that a little bit, but then let's get that messed up. Not sure. Okay, here we go. So then I've got other H2s going down the page in paragraph text, like Door County Church. I've got a Lutheran church in Door County.
Okay. Yep.
I've got further down, I've got Missouri Synod Church in Door County, LCMS Church in Door County, about the Lutheran Church in Missouri Synod. Then I've got literally this churches in Door County and some chat GPT schlock about the important role that churches play in Door County. Okay. And then, okay, look at this. I want to point this out too. I've got a link on the word Door County churches. It literally just goes to the same page.
Yeah.
My homepage. Okay. So just more text, more headings talking about what kind of church you are in Oceanside and the important role of churches in Oceanside. And I know it looks goofy, but nobody sees it anyways if they can't find it. So this stuff works. Okay. We're up at the time that you had relegated.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
We need to move along.
Yeah. Just, I guess we can kind of wrap it up. But
okay. Can I talk about
helpful.
one more thing with you really quick that I think will be some high value to you? Okay. So you have a lot of other communities that you draw from, like Carlsbad or whatever. Yep. Okay. Something that I think would be high value for you is creating a communities page, a hub.
Oh, okay.
So I've got this linked down in my footer again. So communities we serve.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then I've got all these communities that we draw from. All right. So then, we've got, let me give you for an example, Egg Harbor. I actually am result number 1 for Egg Harbor, Wisconsin. Okay. Which is 25 miles from me, but I still pull people from there. All right. It's literally my homepage, just optimized for Egg Harbor instead of Door County.
Okay.
Okay. So it's like super low effort because you're just like cutting and pasting some information and just like you can like just copy your homepage and just change some stuff. You can spin one of these up in 20 minutes max. Okay?
And where's that at on your drop down on your
it's not in the menu.
Oh, just okay.
So the way the Google, because I'm not like,
but it's in the footer though. Yeah.
So Google can click into it from my footer.
Okay.
Then once Google gets into this page, it's got all these communities that we serve. Okay. Then as well, when you're in there, probably it makes sense. I probably would, for each of these, I would funnel something back to your homepage funnel it back. So I've got like a link. This goes back to my communities page. So funnel it back to your communities page, makes a nice hub. Okay. And then I'd probably do a contextual link back to the homepage. And then as well, add something to your Christmas page and to your Easter page. It'll help juice those up because it'll take a while, but these will start to rank for some of these communities that you serve. And all of these pages are going to mutually reinforce each other and also reinforce these other pages that you want to show up.
It's super helpful.
I'm going to grab you just for one more minute. So I do want to go, I'm going to send this copy to you. This is a grid report I pulled that shows the power of your Google business profile. So your Google business profile is what shows up in the map results. You're actually doing great compared to a lot of churches. So you want it to be green because that means you're a top 3 result. Okay. And those are like what shows up in the map results when you like type churches near me or whatever. So for the term church, generic term church, you do have some visibility. Most churches I see don't even have visibility, like literally when they're sitting in their own sanctuary. Okay.
Yep.
What I would say that you could do, so you've got 80 reviews, which is great. That's amazing. I'd love to know how you got that many reviews.
Yeah, we actually, like, before we posted our Christmas Eve page, because we use our maps page a lot. We put a lot of pictures on there, and we're always like updating the times for services and whatever, because a lot of people use it, right? And it pops up on Google search.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I think we had 13 reviews like a month ago. And so we're like, hey, we got to get this up. And so we were like looking around to the churches in our area, and we're like, man, the mega churches, of course, have
like
267. Like, hey, we got to get to 100 by the end of 2026. So we're a transient area. We have 100 people on a Sunday morning here now in 2025. But since 2000, since we've existed, I don't have the record book in front of me, but we have like in the high 100s total, like members who've been members of our church over 25 years.
Yeah,
probably 1,000 people, 750 people, we'll say. So we just started messaging friends and people that used to belong to our church that moved away, whatever. And just, hey, would you mind going to Google our name, give us a review, put a few reasons why. If you have any pictures, post a picture or two. So then a lot of people started doing it.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So we're like, okay, we got to 80. We only need to get 20 more to get to 100. And then we're trying to, church is not a business, people, but unfortunately, the way that websites work, they're viewed as a business. So it's like, we got to get up to the next church's level.
Keep pushing on it. Okay.
Yep.
Keep doing it.
Yeah.
I would change your primary category is Christian church.
Okay.
I would put that as an additional category. I'm sorry. My wife is calling over and over. Okay. I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, all good.
All right. Yeah. I would put Christian church over as one of your additional categories. And if you look, most of the ones on the top here, it's the category church, just generic church. So that should help you, I would say. Okay.
So I can't remember, where I'm trying to remember where we go to do that.
So if you have access to your Google business profile, which it sounds like you do.
Yeah.
Just Google the name of your church, name and location of your church. It'll usually just pop up.
Oh, okay.
Or you can go to business.google.com.
Okay.
And so, then as well, I think I saw that your citation count is a little bit low. So getting your name, your address, and your phone number out on like directories and stuff.
Oh, okay.
All right. It's old school, but it helps. All right. Let's see here. You're doing awesome for Reformed Church. So you're just like dominating, and you're doing awesome for Presbyterian Church. Not quite as good, but let's see. I don't think you're super concerned about that. So something else. Keep pushing those reviews and then go line up citations. So just go onto Fiverr. Literally I sell this as a service, but I'll just give you the secret. Just go on to Fiverr, look up like directory citations, and like literally a $5 gig will get you on 50. That's a good start.
Cool.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're doing some great stuff. So I hope this has been helpful.
Yeah. No, really appreciate it. And I think I told you, I've just been sending out to everybody, my buddies, hey, you got to subscribe to this website, subscribe to this newsletter. So I'm hoping to send out to a bunch of guys, hey, this is what we did this year for Christmas Eve. Here's how to do it next year. Like I have a friend that's a pastor, former intern of mine is now a pastor in a small town in Indiana. And they meet in a very historic building. So there was like some Christmas tour this year of all the historic churches in that town, Madison, Indiana. And their church is like on that tour. And he's like, we had like over 1,000 people toured through our building during that, like this tour they had, like for this month-long tour thing. And he said, we got to figure out a way to optimize that. And I'm like, you probably just got to make a web page. Like use all this stuff from that newsletter about the Christmas Eve page, but I can make a web page just for that thing, like that tour thing.
Yeah.
And I was just giving some ideas, and it's like, you gotta just reach out to the SEO Priest.
That's good.
Solve
Hey,
all
it's
your
been a
problems,
pleasure, man.
Yeah, man.
All right. And yeah, let's stay in touch. God bless.
Cool. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
Pastor Hyde's campaign worked especially well because he's in a highly competitive area and because he followed what I call the 4 pillars of church marketing: web, press, ads, and social. First, web. He created a dedicated search engine optimized page for his Christmas Eve service. This is the most important stat. Every press mention, social media post, or ad should send people to a single page you control. That page also attracts people who are actively searching for a Christmas Eve service, and unlike ads, this effort compounds year after year. The same page will continue bringing visitors long into the future. Second, press. Pastor Hyde used a press release strategy. It's old school but incredibly effective. People still consume local media, and local outlets want content like this. It's free exposure and it works. Third, ads. He ran paid campaigns on Meta, Facebook, and Instagram, and also used a local outlet. Paid ads give you speed and reach, especially during short seasonal windows like Christmas. Fourth, social. He did post on social media, and that's fine, but did you notice something? No one showed up and said, "I came because of a Facebook post." That matters. Most churches start with social media and stop there, but for most churches, SEO, press, and paid ads are far more reliable drivers of real-world attendance. Social supports the campaign. It shouldn't be the campaign. If you want to compete with bigger churches, focus where the leverage actually is.